I want to bring in Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen on the Appropriations and Foreign Relations Committees. It's good to have you here, and I want to pick up on that conversation because as billions of dollars are being spent, more American troops are being committed to war, taxpayers are being asked to bear the burden. I wonder if you have any concerns about the kind of information that the president is getting to make these life and death consequential decisions, including this new report about these 2-minute war videos.
Chris, yes, I do. We have a delusional president who is getting his information, as you say, from these short videos and ignoring the other information from U.S. intelligence agencies that, for example, warned that if you got rid of the top tier of Iranian leadership, you're likely to end up with the even more radical group who specifically said that Iran was not about to get a nuclear weapon. But instead of listening to them, he's listening to all the yes men and women around him, the dear leaders, the Pete Hegseths of the world. And that is making our country less safe. In addition to these costs, we have 13 service members killed, hundreds wounded. And as you were just saying, billions of dollars a day. And on top of that, rising oil and gas prices. This is a really bad decision that Donald Trump made together with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Well, Democrats have obviously been pushing for an end to the conflict. And now, in fact, the president says he has sent a peace proposal to Iran. And even though Iran has apparently rejected it, do you see it as a step in the right direction?
Well, Chris, this is part of the delusional president, right? He's been saying for days that he's talking directly to the Iranians. That turns out not to be true. Now we are using intermediaries, either Pakistan or Turkey, to pass these messages on it. And Donald Trump keeps telling the country that Iran's really dying to do a deal. And they're about to give me, Donald Trump, everything I want. Flatly untrue. We now know the Iranians have rejected the proposal that was passed on to them. And yet Donald Trump continues to lie and tell the country that this is about to end and on his terms. This is just another lie. The big lie, of course, was when he told the American people during the campaign that he would not drag us into another war, especially in the Middle East.
Which brings me to the other big story, Senator, which is the standoff over DHS. And on Monday, it kind of sounded like Republicans thought there was a deal around funding the TSA and other agencies. And then yesterday, the president said, and I'm quoting him here, any deal they make, I'm pretty much not happy with it. Can you still negotiate with Republicans when the president says there's no deal I'm going to be happy with?
Well, Chris, we know that the president calls the shots with the Republican caucus in the Senate and the House. Whatever Trump says to do, that's what they do. We have proposed a very easy way out of where we are at the moment, which is let's reopen and fully fund TSA right now. Let's make sure TSA agents are getting paid today. It's insane to bring in ICE agents to our airports when the solution is to fund TSA, and we should also fund FEMA, and we should fund the Coast Guard. And we should do all of that while we continue to negotiate real reforms and really rein in a lawless ICE operation, which the Trump administration does not appear really serious about doing that.
In recent days, the wait times at Baltimore-Washington International Airport have been as long as 3 hours. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. On Sunday, TSA callouts were nearly 40%. There are serious concerns about replenishing all the people who have quit. If there's no deal by Friday, and then lawmakers, you all go on break for 2 weeks, I mean, then what? I don't think that there's been a day in the last couple of weeks where someone hasn't told me that their flight either got canceled, it was missed because they stood in line. So if I'm hearing it, I know your office is hearing it.
Well, sure we are. And Congress should not go out on any kind of recess until this issue's resolved, period. We should stay here till we get it done. As I said, we could get it done today. All we need to do is get Republicans in the House and Senate and Donald Trump to agree to immediately fund TSA and those other entities, and we can get it done. And then we can negotiate over reforms to ICE. Obviously, ICE has plenty of money. Republicans gave them plenty of money in their so-called big, beautiful bill. I mean, they gave permanent tax cuts to billionaires, but they also gave money to ICE, which is why Trump is bringing ICE into the airports. We're not going to fund more money for ICE when they continue to engage in lawless activities. And, for example, we have no system right now to really hold ICE officials accountable when they kill American citizens. I mean, we just saw yesterday, Minneapolis and Minnesota are having to try to sue the FBI to get information to have a credible investigation into the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. But the Trump administration doesn't want to go there. So my view is they don't get another penny for ICE until they're serious about reining in ICE. But in the meantime, immediately, let's fund TSA.
We're out of time, but I have to ask you, what is your level of confidence that that is going to happen before folks go home for the break?
Well, there have been Republican senators, a number of them now, who have said that they should take that deal. So I hope that they're listening to all their constituents that are calling in to their offices, like ours are calling into my office, and just fund TSA. I mean, it really is as simple as that. We could do it now. And as I said, we should not leave. We should not leave, Chris, until that's done.
Senator Chris Van Hollen, it's always good to see you. Thank you so much.